Our thing, our New Yearism, is that we just love the spirit of the New Year. The potential, the excitement, sometimes the mad drunkenness, all that stuff. But let me cut to the chase. We're a New Year's band, but I have a story for you that'll explain everything. There was a family. Mother, father, couple of kids, grandmother, grandfather, also the dog. He tagged along, I don't know, he was good. And so they let him come. Anyway, they went into the office of this very famous theatrical impresario. And the father says to the impresario, I have an incredible act. Impresario says, what kind of act is it? Father says, it's a family act. Impresario says, I don't deal in family acts. Father says, wait a minute, you have to see this. So he says, all right. All of a sudden, standing there in the office, the father rips open his trousers, pulls them down to his ankles, and he's wrapping tefillin around his... Wait a minute. Why am I telling a pornographic joke when I could be talking about something really sexy, like the 5th anniversary of a seemingly endless war? And on that cheery note, I would like to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year! That's right, because we're a lesser band of a perpetual New Year's band, and I want to tell you what really happened. Our friend, Ahmad Azadi, who is a New York-based Iranian painter, approached us. He said, you're into New Year's? I have one for you. We said, what is it? He said, it's called Narouz. It's the Zoroastrian New Year, celebrated in Afghanistan and Iran, and it comes on the first day of spring. Now you can tell this is a very, very old holiday, he's told me. And I'm going to paint paintings for you, he said, to show you about this. Because he said, look closely at this woman's boombox. It is a cassette boombox. And that is how you know that this is a very old holiday. It is pre-Muslim, pre-Judeo-Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our great pleasure to present to you now Happy Narouz from Lesser Panda. We have some of that lush music. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the beautiful aspects of Narouz is a thing called a half scene, which is a display that you set out in your house. And everything on the half scene begins with the letter C, S. So you might see a goldfish swimming around in water, symbolizing 5,000 years of life and rebirth in that cycle. You might see narcissus, or some wheatgrass, and also a lotus blossom. You know how they start out in the dark, the murk, and then they bloom, showing that the possibility of transformation is real. You might see some vinegar, showing that when things get older, they get wiser, maybe a little better, I don't know. Also an apple, symbolizing beauty and health, and of course, a mirror to reflect the magnificence of creation. What we're talking about here? Civilization and spring.
We don't need no water, let Tonight is love.
And for tomorrow night as well. As a matter of fact, I know of no better topic for us to discuss until we all die. You may say, why are we reciting that 14th century erotic poetry by Hafiz now in front of this green painting with a pink airplane? Because on the Hafsi we mentioned earlier, there was always a book of erotic poetry, jokes, prognostications for the new year. I mean, what would a family gathering be without a little erotisma, the reading of erotic poetry? And another thing is that no matter Iranians, no matter who they are, whether they're Muslims or Jews or Zoroastrians or Baha'is or Assyrian Christians, no matter where they live in the diaspora, whether they're in Iran or they're living in Miami Beach or Great Neck, Long Island or Los Angeles or Nantes, France, everybody's traveling to get home and visit. And you might notice right here on the back fin of this airplane, the national airline of Iran, is Hama, who is a Zoroastrian travel deity. But really, what I love about this panel is the connection it makes between knowledge and love and the promise of spring.